Hi everyone. Thanks for joining us in this new AMA number 19 again. Let me see, I think everybody from our team is here, so let's get started.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here and do another AMA with you guys. And it's also very nice to see the community is growing again. So yeah, let's get started. I think Arya's going to start with the Sea Panzer update, and let's see what happened last week. We just want to do a quick announcement on what happened and when we're going to deploy the solution. So let's talk about what happened first. I believe Aryan is muted.
Sorry, I was still muted. Yes, so last week we were updating the smart contract for the staking. So we wanted to update it to the latest version of the framework we're using, Anchor, and also be compatible with the latest version of Solana. Unfortunately, we did upgrade the smart contract, but we didn't upgrade the way that the distribution was being called. Like the function call for the smart contract wasn't updated, and unfortunately, there was the smart contract didn't error out, but it just used any value it could find, and that was a very high number to create for distribution. And yeah, so most people got like a lot of Panzer for the distribution, and yeah, there was no way to kind of roll that back. So the best way forward was to actually just multiply all the Panzer that everyone has. I'm working on the fix right now. If I'm correct, I can actually pull it through after the AMA. So everyone will have their Panzer multiplied by 250.
That's awesome news. Yeah, of course, last week we had the launch of our first merchandise. Yeah, thanks everyone who bought a Panzerdogs hoodie. We're already seeing some people burning it in exchange for a real life hoodie. So that should be coming to you very soon. Everybody who still has it in their wallet can, of course, use this as an in-game game skin for their tank. And will, of course, still get a Sea Panzer airdrop. Yeah, and can't wait to see the first hoodie tank skins in the next tournament. And talking about the next tournament, this is planned for the end of this month. We're gonna put a new raffle system in this. Yeah, so the prizes won't only go to the most active players like they did in previous tournaments.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of explanation about our new raffle system. So the idea is, for now, is that based on the points that you collect in the PvP mode, it will be exchanged to tickets. So what we've seen before is that a lot of people were a little bit demotivated when they wanted to participate in the tournament, but seeing the top players with the amount of points they already had gathered, we can only imagine that it can be demotivating not to participate in the tournament. So therefore, we came up with a new system, which is a raffle system, ticket system. So, you know, just by playing a little bit, though you will probably, if you play less, you will have less chance, but you still have a chance to win prizes. And we are very excited to implement the system with our next tournament. And again, as David mentioned, it will be end of this month, probably. Still to be announced who we are going to partner with. But yeah, it's super exciting. And we will also likely reward prizes on a daily basis and not, let's say, on a weekly basis. So on a daily basis, prizes will be handed out. So and more details on that soon. Please keep a close watch on our Discord. Then we also have the mobile version which we announced. It's currently a pinned tweet. So if you haven't seen any of our mobile version yet, please go to our Twitter account. You can see the pinned tweet where we show a little bit of the mobile version in action. It's planned for this quarter, and we are currently internally testing the controls and also the UI. It's already playing very fluently, very naturally as well. As you all know, our background is mobile gaming. We've released over 15 mobile games as a game company. So for us, mobile is very natural to work with. But first, we want to internally test the controls to make sure that that's working well. And obviously the UI as well, as there are different kind of devices with different screen sizes, and we just want to make sure that the UI scales nicely with each other device. And obviously we want to test this with the community as well as soon as possible, and will be available both on iOS and Android. So our goal is to have this done by the end of the quarter, but prior to that, we'll also send out test invites. So keep a close watch on Twitter and Discord again to make sure that you don't miss out and become eligible to become a tester. And the reason why we're doing mobile is to broaden the audience who can play Panzerdogs, especially when free-to-play version is ready. The initial plan is to start testing this with holders, and we may open it up for a while as well for free-to-play players when there's no play-to-earn mechanic, but just to test just to test the controls as just mentioned. And if possible, we would like also to start testing the XP system with the Bolt token, but it requires close testing as we do not want free-to-play users massively trying to get these tokens, which potentially could lead to a supply shock, which has been mentioned as well in our Discord. And I'm sure if any of the developers have anything to add.
We're still testing the controls internally. Very exciting. So far, it's feeling good. Maybe Henrik can talk a little bit more about it. But so far, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, we have some questions later on about some specifics, about mechanics and stuff. So we'll say a little bit more when we get there.
Super cool. And yeah, we also are working on a login system, not super sexy, obviously, like the gameplay, what Hernan's working on, but we have other developers who are working on a login system, which currently is just email and password, because obviously, once you're playing and the XP system is live, we want to make sure that that all the progression is saved towards your account. And we're going to partner up with someone else to do a social login as well, and also create a non-custodial wallet. So that means that you can log in with Twitter, Discord, or Google, and it automatically will create a non-custodial wallet so that you can just transfer your avatars or tanks to your wallet, and then automatically you can just start playing. But our partner, we cannot announce yet who that will be, but that will be announced soon. And then we made a couple of other announcements, which we'll also get a lot of questions about after this AMA. So we announced the GEN1 Mutations to Cyberdog. We think that's very exciting. We already have the design ready, so we'll start showing that off pretty soon as well. But prior to that, we want to make sure that the mechanic that we're going to use and how it will work will be correct. So that's still under discussion internally. But one thing I can say is that a Cyberdog at the least has the option to let you play passively for a limited time. So that's super exciting. We already have the AI in place, obviously, so that could be a very cool feature for the collection, the original collection that you have. Speaking of original collection, we have announced the Gen 2 collection Discord, but that is actually off for now due to conversations that we have with the community. And again, as I just mentioned, we're probably going to talk about it a little bit more later. Probably you guys also have a lot of questions about it.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions from the community. Yeah, we've taken some. We'll answer them here, but you can ask your own questions later on as well. Let's start with the first question. And that is, how did Sol Big Brain react to the second collection ID?
Yeah, I spoke to Sol Big Brain yesterday. I was almost mentioning his name, but I guess it's better maybe not to do that. Yeah, so I talked to him yesterday, and basically he's not against a second cheaper collection, as long the original collection will get benefits. Original holders get more benefits, and you have to make sure that yeah, and he did mention that the game comes first. So if we need a larger player base, it makes a lot of sense to add a second collection. But again, as I just mentioned, currently we do not have a specific timeline for a bigger collection. We do not have a pricing yet, and we do not have like a collection size yet. It's still in discussion with the community whether or not we're going to do it. But timing wise, currently we believe that it's not correct to do it right now. So just keep a close watch on what we do, but it's currently also not our priority to release that as soon as possible. Another thing that he mentioned is, and we talked about like the community wallet and the DAO, and that is something that he was not a big fan of, because there with DAOs, what he has seen is there are not many decision makers, or not centralized decision makers that could lead to a messy DAO basically, or strange proposals, which eventually again can lead to arguments between holders, board members of the DAO, and the project owners. And we have seen that up close with the Monkey DAO. I'm not sure if you guys, any of you have followed that, but there was an argument between those three parties, and that could be a big distraction for the team and focusing on making the game. So on that, we also have not made a final decision yet. So we'll keep talking to you guys, and because the community, you guys are the most important to us, and making sure that the game comes first, obviously.
Yeah, this is actually a follow-up on that question. How are we going to convince original holders that the second collection royalty sales will be worth it for them, given that the amount is likely to be incredibly small?
I'm getting a lot of notifications that Panzer is getting sent.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. I have my notification turned on my Phantom wallet, so it keeps there's like tens of notifications coming in. I need to.
Ian's grinning across from me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off. So please go to the next question first before answering this question.
Yeah, I think you already answered it. But yeah, the next question. This one is from Crispy Crunchies. How will the second collection differ from the primary collection in terms of utility? Did you get that?
Yeah, I was turning off the notifications. Actually, I'm gonna wait to answer this question. Arjen, does this mean this? No, wait. So does this mean that the Sea Panzer has been sent? Yeah, right. Yeah. So he's making an okay sign. All right. So everyone, Sea Panzer have been sent. So check your wallets. So what's the question?
The question was what different utility the second collection is going to have from the Genesis collection.
Yeah, so I mean, if we would release a second collection, so the plan is that the difference will be earnings power, or earning power. So the original collection will always have a bigger share into that. So that means that they will the original collection will be able to collect more XP points, and therefore has a bigger earnings power. And going back to the original plan, the primary collection would get a royalty share from the secondary revenue of the second collection, and also the original collection will be the only collection that will be able to mutate to a Cyberdog. And then I think in terms of game design, Henry maybe has a bit more information on that.
For the earnings potential of Gen 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to go too into details of the specifics because they're still moving around a lot. But generally speaking, you will have orders of magnitudes higher XP gain through having a dog than not having a dog. And that gives you faster collection of tanks, tank parts, so you can craft faster and sell faster if you want to as well. There's also other potential advantages as well through the crafting mechanisms, where you have like stronger sways towards certain influences in the original collection. They'll be lesser in the second collection. So the biggest advantages to be had will be coming from the Gen 1s, and everything below it will be lesser than that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Another question. If the goal is to increase adoption while testing, wouldn't it be simpler to just make it free to play? Cap the limit of players and remove the NFT requirement. Making a new collection seems like it would just dilute the value of the original collection.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, and also one of the solutions that have been brought up internally. I think, once we open up to free to play players, I think that phase would mean that we have the Bolt token already fully functioning as well. But don't forget that we also have tank crafting, and the avatar has a big influence over tank crafting capabilities, which is a core part of the game. So so it's sort of like an internal struggle that we have. Like, is this the best solution there is? So we're definitely going to keep this in mind, and we already are working on free-to-play design. So again, it's one of the solutions that we have internally, but there's some challenges around that as well. So, but again, one more thing I wanted to add is that the first option to increase the player base is adding renting of tanks and dogs possible.
It's a very complicated situation with renting as well. We're coming up with solutions for making it work before the rest of it is ready. But as you can imagine, it makes a lot of sense to have the play to earn side fully realized before you get to the point where renting makes sense. We're actively working on solutions to increase our player numbers while also maintaining value for the original collection.
We have a question about, actually yesterday we posted a video of the mobile version with aim assist in it on Discord and Twitter. This question is about that video. It says, maybe we can have different modes with aim assist turned on by default, but off for more competitive settings to let skills shine.
So it's still a work in progress, but it's something we can definitely look into. It can be really tricky to aim and shoot at the same time on mobile because obviously you only have two thumbs and you're trying to do three actions. It's kind of complicated. So the aim assist is there to help alleviate that and assist you. At the moment, it doesn't do any shot leading. It can, but it's disabled at the moment. And it would probably be really broken if it was enabled. but we're looking at other methods of allowing some more precision aiming on top of the aim assist. So you can have like finer aim control, like lead your shots yourself. Because at the moment your shots are really easy to dodge with the aim assist, because obviously then they're not doing any leading. So if you're going horizontally at all, you're going to miss. Yeah, like we're looking into options to add higher skill on top of this. But I mean, it's also a potential option to go for game mode specifically with aim assist enabled. And then we can also then include somewhat of shot leading on that automatically. And that might also be a remedy. But we're still working on it. It's very much active development at the moment.
Yeah, I actually felt I was playing better, hitting more on the mobile version.
Yeah, it's a very helpful actually. Being able to I don't know, you can focus more on your positioning rather than purely your aiming. I think that's the biggest difference between the mobile and desktop version is with the aim assist. Yeah, it's all about how you're moving around the space, and you can focus more on dodging and less on offense. You know.
Yeah. Next question. Can you tell us any details about the Panzer airdrop distribution for Panzer holders?
Not yet, and I do understand that question. But let me just say this, and it's all due to NDAs. We're very close to announce the investors, and we just want to say, please be patient on this, but it will be very soon.
All right. Next question from Roque Aperol Spritz. I get your first priority is the game and that you are a gaming company, but have you ever thought of entangling PDs or invest more in PvP part of the project? PvP seems to be very valued from the market at the moment and can catch a lot of attention with the right promotion.
PFP, not PvP.
PFP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the PFPs are currently they're tied really strongly into the economy and progression of the game. So they're very entangled already. A lot of the functionality at the moment remains locked behind development because the economic aspects need to be developed further before they're fully the full utility of the PFPs can be realized. Obviously, we're continuously working on this every day. We're making progress towards getting there every single day. But yeah, the most of the potential comes from economic aspects, which are still heavily in progress. So
yeah, once the game, the core product is the game. So once the gaming experience, which is tied to the game design of the PFPs, if that is done and the game experience is fun, then the demand will come naturally to the PFPs. And I think it's much more natural than all the other PFP projects that you're seeing. And just having a focus on PFP is actually a complete separate product. And if you look at DGods, for example, they don't have a game. I mean, as far as I know, they don't have a game with a really deep game, at least a game with a very deep game design mechanic. And they are, I'm not sure how big their team is, but I'm guessing they also have like a pretty significant team that's working just on the main, on the PFP aspect, which is seen as a product, right? They have to, create demand basically for the PFP. And I think with NFT gaming, and I guess, since now like a project like OK Bears is very popular, and also like a project like DGods is, which are purely PFP projects, are getting so much hype currently. Maybe the community is less focused on NFT gaming, but my opinion, and as well as some other people like Soul Brickbrain, for example, is that the demand towards PFPs, and especially if the PFP is integral or integrated in the core game design of an NFT game, is much more natural, right, than just a separate PFP project. I could be wrong on the long term, but that is just my view and my opinion. And again, like and that is why the core experience of a game should be fun, and therefore we as the Panzerdogs team, and what we always have mentioned is that game comes first, and blockchain is secondary, because if the game is fun, demand for the PFP will come in naturally.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have one question left that I've written down. It's from Bombkin. Will there be ways to earn Panzer after staking is finished?
Yeah, there's always the play and earn side of the game, but we intend to support the staking for a long time. So we're going to resupply the staking pool from the treasury, and that comes from the in-game earnings. So if you want to see details, definitely check the white paper. If you have more questions, let us know.
Yeah, always check the white paper. We have some time left to take questions from anyone who is listening. So if you're listening and want to ask a question, raise your hand and we'll make you a speaker.
Hey, I had a quick question in regards to, you mentioned that the game will eventually be free to play. And what's the advantage of investing in a Panzerdog when eventually it's just going to be released to everybody else?
Yeah, so the primary idea is your earnings potential is pretty much exactly tied to your dog. While it's free to play and there will be like earning potential through that, it's dramatically lower. It will still be fun for these people to go through the play and earn side, but it won't nearly be at the capacity that you'll get out of having a dog. It's one of the primary utilities of the dog is the fact that you get this dramatically higher earning potential. And that's the main thing, as well as crafting. You get these influences over crafting as well, which nobody else gets. You can only get these influences through having a dog. And also, like your rate of crafting is also tied to the dogs that you have as well. Each dog essentially functions like a crafting slot, as well as like being able to use it for renting as well. Like you require a dog for renting when we do that mechanism, and stuff like this, as well as extra functionality that we can include through things such as missions and very distinctive things, especially for the Cyberdog collection that we mentioned before. Is like you can mutate your dog into other PFPs that will include extra functionality within the game that you wouldn't be able to get any other way.
Got it. And to go back into that, that totally makes sense. What is the Panzer token going to be used for? Because I know it's play to earn, and I'm sure we're going to be earning Panzer token. What are a few things that you could use that Panzer token for?
Well, so actually there's going to be two tokens, right? So the Panzer token is actually the deflationary token, so basically more on the demand side. And then what the Panzer token will be used for is, for example, it can only be used for higher tier tank crafting. So the lower tier will be using, you will be using the Bolt for. Bolt is the deflationary token. And Bolt will also be connected with as a reward from the XP system or the XP that you get. So if you have time, I would definitely recommend to read the white paper, because like we're actually having there's going to be two tokens actually. So again, it's going to be the Panzer token, which is a deflationary token. There's a maximum supply of that one. And then we have the inflationary token, which is called Bolt. And that one is inflationary and has an unlimited supply.
There's other uses for the Panzer token as well. Will be used as our primary trading token for like transactions between buying extra tank parts off of the marketplaces and other economic activity that requires more premium currency rather than the Bolt. Bolt is more of so it's called a soft currency in a lot of the game design terms. It's inflationary and it's primarily used within like the game mechanisms.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, the idea is Panzer will be hard to get and highly sought after, at least in the game.
Thanks for your question, Lou. Any other questions? Just raise your hand and we'll make you a speaker. All right, it seems there aren't any questions left. You can always ask them in our Discord as well. Thanks everyone for your questions and joining our AMA, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks guys. Cheers.
Yep.